Welcome to our deep dive into nature-based solutions, or NBS. In recent years, NBS have emerged as a promising approach to address pressing environmental and societal challenges, especially climate change and biodiversity loss. These solutions leverage natural processes and ecosystems to provide benefits like carbon storage, storm protection, and pollination, while also supporting human well-being. Today, we'll explore the economic aspects of NBS, their current status, and future priorities. We'll also look at the challenges and opportunities that come with implementing these solutions on a global scale. Let's begin by understanding what NBS are and why they matter. Nature-based solutions are actions that protect, sustainably manage, and restore natural or modified ecosystems. The goal is to address societal challenges effectively and adaptively, providing benefits for both people and biodiversity. However, there isn't a single, universally accepted definition. Different organizations, like the IUCN and the European Commission, have their own interpretations, but all agree on the importance of integrating nature into solutions for climate, economic, and social issues. The broadness of the concept makes it both powerful and sometimes difficult to operationalize. One of the main drivers behind the rise of NBS is the urgent need to address climate change. The Earth is warming at unprecedented rates due to greenhouse gas emissions, and NBS offer a way to both mitigate and adapt to these changes. By preserving and restoring natural habitats, we can sequester carbon, reduce storm impacts, and protect biodiversity. NBS are seen as a bridge between environmental protection and societal resilience, making them a key part of climate strategies worldwide. Economic potential of NBS is significant. Recent studies estimate that nature-based solutions could mitigate over 11,000 teragrams of CO2 equivalent per year at costs below $100 per ton. That's a substantial contribution toward the global mitigation needed to keep warming below 2 degrees Celsius. Moreover, many NBS provide co-benefits such as improved water quality, storm protection, and enhanced biodiversity, which can offset their costs. However, realizing this potential requires careful economic analysis and strategic investment. Forestry plays a central role in NBS. Forest preservation and reforestation are among the most cost-effective ways to sequester carbon. Studies show that forests account for nearly two-thirds of the cost-effective mitigation potential of NBS. Investments in reforestation, especially in tropical regions, can yield rapid and substantial climate benefits. However, these interventions must be managed carefully to ensure long-term success and avoid unintended consequences, such as biodiversity loss or negative impacts on local communities. Agricultural lands also offer opportunities for NBS. Practices like agroforestry, reduced tillage, and soil carbon restoration can increase carbon storage while supporting food production. These approaches can enhance farm productivity, reduce erosion, and provide ecosystem services like pollination. However, the effectiveness and economic viability of these practices depend on local conditions and require careful management to avoid negative trade-offs, such as increased land use elsewhere. Wetlands are another critical component of NBS. They provide valuable services like carbon sequestration, flood protection, and water purification. Restoring and preserving wetlands can deliver significant climate and economic benefits, often at relatively low cost. However, wetlands are sensitive ecosystems, and their restoration must be tailored to local ecological and social contexts to maximize benefits and minimize risks. Nature-based solutions are not limited to rural or wild areas. Urban forests, green roofs, and green spaces can help cities adapt to climate change by providing cooling, stormwater management, and recreational opportunities. These interventions can improve urban resilience, enhance quality of life, and contribute to climate mitigation. As cities continue to grow, integrating NBS into urban planning becomes increasingly important. Protecting biodiversity is a core objective of NBS. Healthy, diverse ecosystems are more resilient to climate change and provide a wider range of services. Preserving large connected habitats supports species diversity and can enhance ecosystem productivity. However, trade-offs may arise, as some NBS for carbon storage might not always align with biodiversity goals. Balancing these objectives is a key challenge in NBS planning. BS provide a wide array of ecosystem services beyond climate mitigation. These include pollination, water filtration, erosion control, and recreation. The economic value of these services can be substantial, sometimes exceeding the value of alternative land uses. However, the benefits are often context-specific, varying with local ecological and social conditions. Recognizing and valuing these services is essential for making informed decisions about NBS investment. Valuing the benefits of NBS is complex. Economic analyses must account for a range of services, many of which are difficult to quantify. The value of services like storm protection or pollination can vary widely depending on location and community needs. Moreover, some benefits such as biodiversity conservation are not easily captured in market prices. Developing robust valuation methods is crucial for guiding investments and policy decisions. Implementing NBS often involves trade-offs. For example, restoring land for forests may reduce agricultural production, while intensive management for carbon storage might impact biodiversity. These trade-offs can be spatial, temporal, or social. Effective NBS strategies require careful consideration of competing objectives and the needs of different stakeholders, including vulnerable groups. Benefits of NBS can change over time. For instance, newly planted forests sequester carbon rapidly at first, but this rate slows as the forest matures. Conversely, some ecosystem services like storm protection may increase as ecosystems reach maturity. Understanding these temporal dynamics is important for planning and evaluating NBS projects. Location matters for NBS. The value and effectiveness of ecosystem services depend on local conditions, such as population density, infrastructure, and ecological context. For example, coastal protection is more valuable in densely populated areas, while pollination services are critical in regions with pollinator-dependent crops. Tailoring NBS to local needs maximizes their impact. Beyond mitigation, NBS play a vital role in helping communities adapt to climate change. Natural systems like mangroves, wetlands, and forests can buffer against storms, reduce flooding, and provide cooling during heat waves. These adaptation benefits are often highly context-specific and can be crucial for vulnerable populations. NBS can support gender equality by providing livelihoods and resources for both men and women. Ensuring that NBS projects are inclusive and address gender gaps is essential for achieving equitable outcomes. This involves recognizing the different roles and needs of women and men in managing and benefiting from natural resources. Implementing NBS requires effective policy instruments. These can include regulations, taxes, subsidies, land tenure reforms, and community resource management. Identifying which instruments work best in different contexts is key to scaling up NBS and ensuring their long-term success. Given the uncertainties in NBS outcomes, adaptive management is crucial. This means regularly updating plans based on new information and changing conditions. Adaptive management helps ensure that NBS remain effective and relevant as circumstances evolve. A vast amount of research has been conducted on NBS, but not all studies are equally reliable. Curating existing research through retroactive peer review can help identify best practices, validate findings, and avoid common mistakes. This process strengthens the evidence base for NBS and guides future applications. Complex models are often used to predict the outcomes of NBS at different spatial and temporal scales. Assessing the accuracy and usefulness of these models is important for making informed decisions. Improvements in modeling can enhance our ability to plan and evaluate NBS interventions. NBS must be designed to avoid compromising food security. Large-scale land use changes for reforestation or restoration should not reduce the availability of land for food production. Balancing climate and food objectives is a key consideration in NBS planning. One challenge in NBS is leakage, where protecting or restoring land in one area leads to increased land conversion elsewhere. For example, restricting agriculture in one region may push expansion into another. Addressing leakage requires coordinated policies and monitoring across regions. NBS often provide co-benefits that go beyond their primary objectives. For example, reforestation can improve water quality, support wildlife, and offer recreational opportunities. Recognizing and valuing these co-benefits can make NBS more attractive and cost-effective. Ensuring that NBS projects are socially equitable is essential. This means involving local communities in planning and decision-making and ensuring that benefits are shared fairly. Special attention should be given to vulnerable groups including women, children, and indigenous peoples. Economic incentives such as payments for ecosystem services can encourage landowners and communities to adopt NBS. These incentives can make conservation and restoration financially viable, aligning economic and environmental goals. Carbon markets can play a role in scaling up. By assigning a price to carbon sequestration, these markets create financial incentives for conservation and restoration. However, ensuring the integrity and effectiveness of carbon credits is essential for real climate benefits. Secure land tenure is critical for successful NBS. When communities have clear rights to land and resources, they are more likely to invest in long-term conservation and restoration. Clarifying and strengthening land tenure can help unlock the potential of NBS. Monitoring is essential for tracking the effectiveness of NBS. Regular assessment helps identify what's working, what isn't, and where adjustments are needed. Advances in technology such as remote sensing are making monitoring more efficient and accurate. Engaging local communities is vital for the success of NBS. Community involvement ensures that projects are tailored to local needs and have local support. Participatory approaches can also build capacity and foster stewardship of natural resources. Sharing knowledge and best practices is important for scaling up NBS. Networks and partnerships can facilitate learning, innovation, and the spread of successful approaches. International cooperation can help adapt NBS to different contexts and challenges. Technology can enhance the effectiveness of NBS. Tools like geographic information systems, remote sensing, and data analytics help plan, monitor, and evaluate projects. Integrating technology with traditional knowledge can yield powerful results. Education and awareness are key to building support for NBS. Informing the public about the benefits of nature-based approaches can foster greater participation and investment. Educational programs can also build skills for implementing and maintaining NBS. The private sector has a vital role to play in scaling up NBS. Businesses can invest in sustainable practices, support conservation projects, and develop innovative solutions. Partnerships between public and private sectors can unlock new resources and drive progress. Strong governance is essential for effective NBS. Clear policies, transparent decision-making, and accountability mechanisms help ensure that projects deliver intended benefits. Good governance also builds trust among stakeholders and supports long-term sustainability. Securing adequate financing is a major challenge for scaling up NBS. Innovative funding mechanisms such as green bonds and blended finance can help mobilize resources. Aligning public and private investments is key to achieving large-scale impact. International cooperation is vital for addressing global challenges like climate change and biodiversity loss. Sharing knowledge, resources, and best practices across borders can accelerate progress and ensure that NBS are effective in diverse contexts. Legal frameworks provide the foundation for implementing NBS. Laws and regulations can protect natural areas, incentivize conservation, and ensure that projects comply with environmental standards. Strengthening legal frameworks supports the long-term success of NBS. Integrating NBS into national and international climate policies can enhance their effectiveness. Policies that recognize the value of natural systems and support their protection and restoration are essential for meeting climate goals. NBS contribute to sustainable development by supporting livelihoods, enhancing resilience, and protecting natural resources. Aligning NBS with the Sustainable Development Goals can maximize their impact and ensure that benefits are widely shared. Innovation is driving new approaches to NBS. From novel financing mechanisms to cutting-edge restoration techniques, innovation can help overcome barriers and unlock new opportunities. Encouraging experimentation and learning is key to advancing NBS. NBS can help manage environmental risks such as floods, droughts, and storms. By enhancing ecosystem resilience, these solutions reduce vulnerability and support disaster risk reduction. Integrating NBS into risk management strategies can save lives and resources. For NBS to deliver lasting benefits, they must be designed for long-term sustainability. This involves ongoing management, monitoring, and adaptation to changing conditions. Building local capacity and securing long-term funding are essential for success. Looking ahead, future priorities for NBS include clarifying definitions, improving research, refining models, and identifying effective policy instruments. Emphasizing adaptive management and inclusive approaches will help ensure that NBS continue to evolve and meet emerging challenges. Summary: nature-based solutions offer a powerful approach to addressing climate change, biodiversity loss, and other societal challenges. Their economic, social, and environmental benefits are substantial, but realizing their full potential requires careful planning, robust policies, and inclusive engagement. By working together and learning from experience, we can harness the power of nature to build a more sustainable and resilient future. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of nature-based solutions. As we move forward, let's remember the importance of integrating nature into our responses to global challenges. By valuing and investing in natural systems, we can create a more sustainable, equitable, and resilient world for generations to come.